Yeah, I'll react to that, sure.
Hi guys. I feel like I paused. I get like whenever I look at the camera lens like I'm doing right now, it's not like I can see anyone, right? But I get the kind of eye contact response, and then I get jumbled and say stupid things. Top 10 underrated capitals to visit in Europe. My name's Connor. If you're new, hope everyone's doing well. Ryan Shirley, fantastic channel. I can't I can't praise this channel enough, honestly. Fantastic videos every time, and he clearly goes to the vast majority, if not all, or if not all, the vast majority of the places he lists, and just has amazing footage, drone footage, and I absolutely love this
My
channel.
name is
So,
Ryan, and I spent the last...
top 10 underrated capitals. Let's go in Europe.
What's up, guys? My name is Ryan, and I spent the last few years exploring Europe's capital cities, and I want to show you my favorites. So here's my underrated capitals top 10.
Why do European cities always like match, you know? Like they match. Look, it's all they all look, or not all, but a lot of. Ooh, is that a Star Fortress? I think it is. Classic, like 1600s. Um, it all looks like every building was just created out of the material directly under it, and it all just looks like it's
Here's
matching.
my
Like
underrated
here,
capitals top cities,
here, a little more
and
variation,
I want to show you my
but still just it looks like cities just have a personality.
favorites. So here's my underrated capitals top 10.
Hope everyone's doing
Europe's
okay.
cities remain unmatched to the rest of the world. When most people think of Europe, they probably imagine Paris and the Eiffel Tower, or Rome and its ancient ruins. But in this video, I want to show you some of Europe's capitals that I consider to be hidden gems. From Malta's medieval city of Valletta to Kiev's jaw-dropping architecture, Europe's underrated capitals have so much to offer. Let's start this video off in the magical capital of Luxembourg City. Now, the country of Luxembourg is one of the smallest in the world.
It's about the same size as Rhode Island, which is the state that I live in. It's the smallest state in the US. I think it might be a little bit bigger than Rhode Island, but it's close.
Between Belgium, France, and Germany, and has a population around 600,000. Luxembourg also has the
Rhode Island
highest
has more
GDP
people.
per capita in the world, which is pretty crazy. Now, the crowning feature of the country is its capital, Luxembourg City. Built among deep gorges cut out by surrounding rivers, the city is home to one of the most impressive medieval old towns. Now, what made this landscape so appealing is that it's surrounded by sheer cliffs that serve as a natural fortification against invading armies. Luxembourg's fortifications grew gradually and it became one of Europe's strongest fortresses.
Well, there's got to be so much amazing history just being nestled between the lowlands and Germany and France. There has to be so much history through most every European
Sadly,
conflict.
in 1867, the Treaty of London required Luxembourg's fortress to be torn down so it could be a place of neutrality. Today, the fortress's ruins still remain. The best place to see them is the Bach Promontory, where you'll find the city's famed cliffs, underground tunnels, and fascinating history. Luxembourg is such a stunning capital. After Luxembourg, we're going to head over to the capital of Bratislava, now located in Slovakia, right on the border between Austria and...
Ooh, it's that close. So could you do like a day trip from Budapest to Bratislava to Vienna? Or is
Hungary.
that too far?
Bratislava became Slovakia's capital after the Velvet Revolution, which split Czechoslovakia into two separate countries, making it one of Europe's younger capitals. Today, Bratislava has a population of 400 and
What?
Revolution, which split Bratislava became Slovakia's capital after the Velvet Revolution,
Czechoslovakia.
which split Czechoslovakia into two separate countries, making it one of Europe's younger capitals.
Didn't Czechoslovakia even extend a little east of? Because I remember seeing it. It was super thin but long. A little east of Slovakia. I could be I could be wrong
They
there.
brought it into two separate countries, making it one of Europe's younger capitals. Today, Bratislava has a population of 430,000 and it ranks as the third richest region in the European Union. One of the most prominent features of the capital is the Bratislava Castle. Located on an isolated hill right above the Danube River, the Bratislava Castle has been a symbol of the city since the Middle Ages. Construction of the castle began in the 9th century and it stood until it was tragically burned down by fire in 1811. Luckily, it was rebuilt in 1964 and it stands as one of Slovakia's greatest castles. The Bratislava Castle includes 4 towers, a courtyard, and a beautiful garden area, all surrounded by a fortified wall. It's just absolutely massive. And
So when a large fire happens in a building like this with a largely stone framing or exterior, is the framing still the same one as before the fire, or does the fire just destroy even these walls?
beautiful garden area, all surrounded by a fortified wall. It's just absolutely massive and it can be seen from all over the city. Now, to get one of the best views of the castle in all of Bratislava, you can visit the UFO Bridge. It's a road bridge that goes over the Danube River and it was constructed in 1972 and stands 278 feet high. On top, there's an observation deck and a restaurant that offers the best views of the city. After Slovakia, we're gonna head over to Malta to visit Valletta. Now, located in the southeastern region on the main island of Malta, Valletta is a sight to see. With only an area of 0.61 square kilometers, it's the European Union's smallest capital city. Valletta was established back in 1566 after the Knights of Malta defeated the Ottomans who attempted to conquer Malta in the Great Siege. In 1798, the French invaded the island, but the Maltese revolted and the island ended up under British rule in September of 1800. During World War II,
There's got to be history on this island going back thousands of years, because it's in the middle of the Mediterranean. You got to have like pre-Roman, Carthage, Phoenician history on there. There has to be there's no way there's not.
Ended up under British rule in September of 1800. During World War II, Valletta received a lot of destruction due to the German and Italian air raids, which destroyed significant buildings such as the Royal Opera House. Today, the architecture of Valletta is absolutely stunning. It's the perfect mixture of Baroque and modern architecture. I just love how the whole city is dominated by 10 medieval buildings. If you visit the city,
I always forget what Baroque. What Baroque architecture. The decorative theatrical style that originated in Italy in the late 16th century and spread. It's characterized by its use of elaborate motifs and decorations, organic curves, bright colors, and a combination of different arts. Okay. All right.
you can check out the city is dominated by 10 medieval buildings. If you visit the city, you can check out the saluting battery. At noon, a cannon is fired. Pretty cool if you ask me. Valletta just has so much beauty and history, and I hope you all can witness it in person. After Valletta, we're gonna head over to Latvia to visit Riga. Now, I have to say that I was very surprised by Riga's beauty. It's full of stunning medieval architecture. Riga was founded back in 1201, and today it's the largest city of all the Baltic countries. One of the most famous buildings is the House of the Blackheads. It's located in Riga's old town and was built in the 14th century. St. Peter's Church.
Oh, it's so cool. You can see the style of architecture along the southern Baltic coast, or just the whole Baltic coast of that, from like, you know, does the Netherlands border the Baltics? I don't think it does. It's the North Sea. But Netherlands, northern Germany, Denmark, northern Poland, and then clearly goes into the Baltic countries. The style of architecture is so similar, and it makes sense. But you can see when it comes to a place like Latvia, it kind of meshing that lowlands type architecture with the more eastern. I don't know if you want to call it kind of orthodox type architecture. Like this building right here just seems like a blend of Slavic, maybe even Russian style, you know, architecture with the more South Baltic coast and like northern Germany, Netherlands, Denmark, Poland. think it's really interesting.
It's located
Makes
in Riga's
sense.
old town and was built in the 14th century. St. Peter's Church is another dramatic building that towers over Riga's skylines. Riga is just such a special and underrated city and hope all can visit. After, let's head over to Poland to visit Warsaw. Located on the Vistula River in east central Poland, Warsaw is the capital and largest city in the country. Warsaw began to grow in the 16th century and was called the Paris of the North, but Warsaw was damaged extensively during World War II, with 85% of its buildings in ruins. Today, it's a bustling capital with a population of 1.8 million. One of my favorite buildings is the Palace of Culture and Science. At 778 feet tall, it's the 5th tallest building in the EU. You want to see some medieval
Looks
vibes.
like such a strong building, but still it looks nice.
178 feet tall. It's the 5th tallest building in the EU. You want to see some medieval vibes, you can check out Warsaw's Old Town. It was established in the 13th century and is full of history and medieval architecture. After Poland, we're going to head back
The 5th tallest building in the EU. I noticed Europe doesn't build many skyscrapers, so I guess that makes sense. I wonder what the reason for
to
that
the
is.
Baltics to visit Lithuania's capital of Vilnius. Unlike other Baltic capitals of Tallinn and Riga, Vilnius is located inland near its eastern border. Before World War II, Vilnius was one of the largest Jewish centers in the world. Napoleon called it the Jerusalem of the North. I'm just blown away by the beauty of the city and its perfect mixture of modern and Baroque architecture. You can drive 30 minutes outside the city and visit the Truckee Island Castle. It's this uniquely designed castle that's on a little island in Lake Gulf. Such a cool little spot outside the city. After Lithuania, we're going to head over to Croatia to visit Zagreb. Now located in northwestern Croatia.
I hear this country is beautiful. And especially on
Head
the
over to Croatia to
this is
visit
the Adriatic.
Zagreb. Now located
So Zagreb's inland. But when I think of Mediterranean, like beautiful Mediterranean countries, I usually think of Italy, France, Spain. But I hear Croatia is beautiful.
in northwestern Croatia. Zagreb is the country's largest city with a population of over 1 million. Zagreb is a city full of history that dates back to the Roman times. One of the most popular attractions in the capital is the Cathedral of Zagreb. It's not only the tallest building in Croatia, but it's also the most monumental sacred building in Gothic style southeast of the Alps. The cathedral was completed in 1217 and sadly it was destroyed in 1242 by the Mongols, but it was rebuilt a few years later. The two spires reach a height of 300.
The Mongols made it to Zagreb. That's terrifying.
154 feet. It's just crazy to think that it was constructed nearly 800 years ago. Zagreb is just such a beautiful capital to visit. After Croatia, we're going to head over to Belgium to visit Brussels. Now located in the heart of the country, Brussels is the most densely populated region with a population of 1.2 million. After
I love Belgium. I think it was Bruges. I don't think it was Brussels. I think it was Bruges, but I just like one of my most memorable times from that trip. I went with my dad and brother to Europe. Paris is awesome. I loved Austria. Germany is great. But I think it was Bruges. But I just remember like at nighttime with the beautiful lighting and you just walking through all of these like medieval style squares with these super beautiful cathedral style I don't know if medieval is the right word, buildings just towering over you. It was so beautiful.
World War II, Brussels became a major center for international politics. It is the de facto capital of the European Union. I went to Brussels many years ago and its impression has left a mark on me. One of my favorite places was the
It looked like this. This is what it looked like.
Grand Place. It's the center square of the city, and I just remember being blown away by the immaculate buildings and all the cobblestone. The square is considered to be one of the most beautiful in all of Europe, and I totally understand why. While you're there, you can treat yourself to a Belgian waffle or make the short walk to the famous statue of Mannequin Peace. Now, a really interesting attraction is the Atomium Landmark Building. It was built in 1958 for the Brussels World Fair, and there's a restaurant with an incredible panoramic view on top. After Belgium, we're going to head over to Bosnia and Herzegovina
Get that shot.
to visit the capital of Sarajevo.
When I think of Bosnia and Herzegovina, I think of wars in, was it the 90s? And doesn't it have like a statistic that it's like a lot of unexploded landmines? And so that just makes me have a fear of going to the place that I'm sure is unjustified. It's not like you have a chance of. I don't know. I know very little about.
Nestled in a
Is Sarajevo the capital? No.
valley, Bosnia and
Oh,
Herzegovina.
was that a mosque?
To visit the capital of Sarajevo. Nestled in a valley
Right there?
surrounded by the Dinaric Alps, Sarajevo is the country's largest city with a population around 300,000. It's considered to be the prominent center of culture in the Balkans, and due to its long history and religious and cultural diversity, and sometimes referred to as the Jerusalem of Europe. The capital is full of crazy history. The city began in the 15th century as an Ottoman stronghold. In 1914, Archduke Franz Ferdinand was assassinated here, which sparked World War II. In 1984, Sarajevo
He meant World War One, but yeah.
hosted the Winter Olympics and the city was thriving, but from 1992 to 1996, the city suffered the longest siege of a capital city in the history of modern warfare during the Bosnian War. I just can't imagine what that must have been like. Aside from its history, I find Sarajevo to be such an intriguing place. From the melting pot of religions to the surrounding Alps, Sarajevo is an undiscovered gem that deserves a visit. After, we're going to head over to Ukraine to visit Kiev, located in north-central Ukraine along the Dnieper River. Kiev is one of the oldest.
Get how thick that river is.
Visit Kiev, located
Dnieper. That is a thick river.
in north-central Ukraine along the Dnieper River. Kiev is one of the oldest cities in Eastern Europe and is believed to be founded around the 5th
Kiev and
century
Rus.
as a Slavic settlement that grew as it was positioned on the trade route between Scandinavia and Constantinople. At the beginning of the 12th century, it grew to be one of the largest cities in the world with a population exceeding 100,000. Today, Kiev is an important cultural, scientific, and industrial center of Eastern Europe. I'm amazed by how beautiful the city is, especially during the summertime. One of the most famous places in the city is the Kiev Monastery of the Caves. It's an Orthodox Christian monastery, and it began as a cave monastery in the year.
Sorry, that's so cool that I would never have thought Scandinavians and, you know, Middle East or Ottoman or Turkic would have much interaction, but because of the Dnieper River, they did.
Of 1051 AD, and it began as a cave monastery in the year of 1051 AD. Today it's an active monastery with over 100 monks, and it's named one of the 7 wonders of Ukraine. Right next to the monastery is the Motherland Monument. It's a 203-foot tall stainless steel statue that was completed in 1981 to celebrate the Soviet victory over Nazi Germany. Kiev is such a spectacular place, and I hope y'all can visit one day. Well, that is it for my European capitals top 10. There are a few more capitals.
See that
Hope
soccer
y'all can
field?
visit one
Football
day.
field?
Well, that is it for my
That's awesome.
European capitals top 10. There are a few more capitals that I left out, so maybe I'll have to make a video that includes all of them. Let me know where your favorite capital in Europe is. If you want to feel relaxed, I started a relaxation channel where I post hour-long videos of places such as Switzerland and Scotland with calming music that can bring some peace and nature in your life. I just upload a relaxation film from Madeira that you'll have to check out. You can find me on Instagram and just upload a relaxation film from Madeira
Is that natural?
that you'll have to check out. You can find me on Instagram and TikTok at shirley.films. Anyways, it's Ryan, and we will see you later.
That you and I are working here today. It's evident.
Great video as always. Would appreciate any comments, guys. Love y'all. Hope you're all doing well. If you think something was left off that should have been on the list or any comments at all, would love to see them. And hopefully I'll see you next video. Bye, guys.